easy. The only thing you have to watch out for is the directions tell us specifically what journals to post in what order. So what we're doing is we're going to go through and we're going to look at our totals for our graphics company, and we're posting our totals. Every total needs to be posted. But now here's the thing. You are going to find in your general journal, you don't have to go through and total and proof. Your sales journal, your purchases journal, cash receipts, and cash payments, you total and rule. You do not total and rule your general because the only columns that are in your general journal are general debit and general credit. So you would never post those totals. So you will never be posting a column total from your general one. So please watch this, because if you post your cash payments before your sales, it'll throw your numbers off and Apple will mark them all wrong. So this is very important. This order: sales, purchases, cash receipts, and cash payments. Very, very important. We ready to rock out some posting? It'll go fast. We're going to work on the work together. Don't start the on your own. Chill with me, so don't go too far ahead. Get ready? All right, I got my handy dandy calculator out. So we are going to start on my sales journal. So that's what I'm going to open up, sales. So even though it's not in that order, we are going to start with sales first. And I move from left to right in posting my totals. So the first column in my sales journal is accounts receivable. That is the first account I need to have open on the bottom. You will notice all of the account totals that we are posting go in our general journal, not in a subsidiary ledger. We only post individually to our subsidiary ledger, which would be Nicholas Sparks or any of our vendors. First thing I'll do is I'll put the date in there. The date is going to be the 31st because it is October. And it is going to be S10 for Sales Journal 10. And you will see this says accounts receivable debit. So I'm going to debit accounts receivable $7,377.60. It previously had a debit balance of $1,284.73. So I just add those two together. And I got a number of $8,662.33. Anyone agree? Yes, I see some nodding. Thank you, Hannah. Last step, I have to put my account number under the total there. This is a step that people miss. And you have to put them in parentheses. Why do I put them in parentheses? Well, if I don't, if I were just to put 1130 under here, it would look like $1,130. Putting it in parentheses says, I've posted it. This is what I'm doing. Let's do the same thing to sales. The next column is sales, so I'm going to find my account for sales. Put the date of the 31st in there, S10. Credit sales, $6,960. It previously had a balance of $233,335. That's a lot of threes and fives. Add the two together. Then I'm going to put count number 4110 right up on the top. I'm going kind of fast because we know how to post. We just have to know how to post from where we're at. So the last one I'm doing from our sales journal is going to be my sales tax payable. Date of the 31st. S10. Credit for $417.60. Previously had a credit balance, so I'm going to add those two. Give me a new balance of $1,824.48. Count title back up underneath it in parentheses of 2140. Congratulations, you just posted your sales journal. Which journal comes next? Let's open up purchases and do exactly the same thing. This one is a little tricky. Little tricky on purchases. And the reason it's a little tricky is notice my heading on purchases. It says what? Purchases and accounts payable. I have to post this number twice because the heading says accounts, or it says purchases, DR, which stands for debit, and then it says accounts payable credit. So I have to put this $11,818.40 in two accounts. So that means when I put my account numbers below it, it's going to be one account number slash and another account number. So let's do the one that's listed first, which is going to be my purchases. So let's go there and post this as a debit to purchases. Date is still going to be the 31st. Our post reference is now P10, standing for Purchases Journal 10, and I'm going to debit that $11,818.40. Previously had a debit balance of $106,559.60. We add those two together and get your new balance. Now, this is where Applia gets a little stupid. I don't really like how it does this. I'm going to put in parentheses 5110, and it won't let me put it in unless I actually put in my accounts payable. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, even though I haven't posted really to accounts payable, but I'm going there immediately. Date's 31st, P10. Crediting it, $11,818.40. Previously had a credit balance, so 2 credits means you add. And then ideally I would go write 2,110 up there for Applia, but it doesn't let me write them separately, so I just put them together before. Congratulations, you just posted the Purchases Journal. Which journal comes next? Cash Receipts. So when we do cash receipts, I do want to point out, according to Applia right now, there is nothing that we need to do under general debit and credit. Well, ideally, what we would have to do is we'd have to put a check mark in parentheses, because if we put a check mark in parentheses, that means, hey, I didn't forget it, I just know I don't need to post it. So watch out for that in upcoming assignments where you'll need to put a check mark in a parentheses. So we are going to go through and post left to right. Very important that we post them in that order, because otherwise you can get some things marked wrong. First thing we'll do is we're going to put this total of $6,360 in accounts receivable. Now, what we have done is we have posted individually to my subsidiary ledger. Now I'm going to take this total and put it in that controlling account that we've been talking about, the accounts receivable. So I'm going to move here and move all the way across and post every single total. Just open up your ledger account and put her in there. Accounts receivable again first. Date is the 31st. Post reference is now going to be CR12. And we are crediting it $6,360. So the value of accounts receivable is going down because it had a previous debit balance of $8,662.33. I subtract that off. So now my new balance is a debit of $2,302.33. Account number 1130 goes right underneath that amount. I will do exactly the same thing to sales. Date is the 31st, CR12. Sales is going to be credited $18,320. It previously had a credit balance, so I'm going to add this one. Account number 4110 gets thrown right up there. After you've posted the sales, you're going to go ahead and open up sales tax payable. Day's 31st, CR12. Sales tax payable is going to be credited $1,099.20. It previously had a credit balance, so you're going to add the two. Oh, 33, thank you. I'm surprised it let me put in 33. Appreciate that catch on that one. Account number 2140 goes back up into my cash receipts journal. Next one I have in my cash receipts journal is going to be my sales discount. Sales discount is a contra account to the account sales. It has a debit normal balance. Sales normally has a credit, so I'm going to put the date of the 31st, not the 33rd. CR12. And then we're going to go ahead and debit that $31.40. What does that tell me? In the month of October, we had customers that paid within the discount period and were able to get $31.40 off. So I'm just going to add those two numbers together. The last one we get to do is cash. Cash is an asset account. Assets have a debit normal balance. Add those two together. Guess what we do after our cash receipts journal? Cash payments journal. Now, cash payments journal. Right here, notice, general debit, I have a total of $11,671.38. Where do I post this to? Nowhere, right? But I can't leave it blank, so that's where I put a check mark. I'm going to put a check mark in general debit as well as general credit. And the check mark is a letter V in parentheses. Then I'm going to post to accounts payable. Date of the 31st, source document is going to be CP15. And we're going to do accounts payable as a debit of $8,656. Account number 2110 goes back up on top. Then you're going to go ahead and open up purchases discount, dated 31st, CP15. We're crediting that $128.48. Purchases discount is a contra account to our purchases account. Purchases is a cost account with a debit normal balance, so purchases discount has a credit balance. Last one that I have to do is cash. So there. That was posting that. How'd you do with it? A lot of work, but not necessarily anything extremely new or extremely hard. You do not need to do on your own. I have turned on for you Work Together 11-5. That's the next one we're going to rock and roll on. Okay? So go ahead and save your Work Together 11-4. You do not need to do the work on your own 11-4. But let's go ahead and take a look at 11-5. So basically, in 11-5, what has happened is we had someone go through last month, journalize and post some transactions. And now we looked at it and we realized there was a mistake. And we have to go through and fix that mistake. We can't just go back and erase it. We have realized that this entry has been journalized and has been posted. So we have to go through and make a correcting entry on that. So the previous month there was a mistake. We go in the next month and journalize it. So when we read the transaction, it says, a general journal and accounts receivable ledger for client interiors are given below. Using the current year, journalize the following transactions on page 6 of a general journal. Memorandum source document is abbreviated as M. So on June 3rd, discovered that a sale and account to Howell Clinic on May 25th, S346 was incorrectly charged to the account of Housley Dance Studio for $414.99, M57. So basically, what account was affected and should not have been? Dylan, which account was affected that should not have been? Yes. So Housley Dance Studio was affected. So this is accounts receivable account. So it was debited in May and it should not have been. So if it was debited in May and should not have been, what do we have to do to it now in June? We have to credit it. We have to get it out of Housley and we have to put it into Howell. So I'm going to go ahead and put the date in here of the 3rd. They don't give us an opportunity to write in the month, but we'll just go ahead and put the date of the 3rd. Now, this is going to be one of the odd times that we don't write the word accounts receivable. Because here's the thing. On line 5, I would write accounts receivable Howell Clinic, and on line 7, I would write accounts receivable Howell Clinic. I would be debiting accounts receivable and crediting accounts receivable $414.99. It doesn't make sense to add and subtract the same amount. Because originally, the first transaction, we affected accounts receivable, so we don't need to affect that account. We only have to get it out of the incorrect subsidiary ledger. So I'm going to write Howell Clinic on line 6. Source document is M57. And I'm going to debit it $414.99. Then on line 7, I'm going to do Housley. And they're going to be credited $414.99. That's our journal transaction. The other thing that we have to do is post this. Garrett, can you close the door in the hallway? To the hallway for me? Thank you. So what we're going to do next is we just have to go through and post this, which is what we've done all along. I'm going to start and post line 6. On line 6, it's Howell Clinic for the date of the 3rd, so I'm going to put in June 3rd. Post reference is going to be G6, and I'm going to debit Howell Clinic $414.99. It previously had a zero balance, so now it has a debit balance of $414.99. Put account number 160 back up on top. Now, line 7 is going to Housley Dance Studio. The date is the 3rd. Post reference is going to be G6. Now I'm going to credit it $414.99. It previously had a debit balance of $414.99, so our new balance is 0, so we got to put a 0 in our balance column. Go ahead and try that on your own because I think this one gets a little trickier to try to figure out which one should be affected that should not be.